Hey, peace and blessings, and welcome back to episode number 3 of Thoughts of a Connector. I'm Rob YB Youngblood, your number one connector, your LinkedIn locksmith. I serve as the Chief Connecting Officer of YB Connects, and my gift is to connect and promote. I want to welcome you to this video where I will speak about all things connecting, share a little bit about what's on my mind, and use this as a platform to empower, inspire, and impact you so that you can live out your God-given purpose. If you haven't had an opportunity to catch episodes 1 and 2, definitely go back. The information is in the description on those 2 episodes. And should this information inspire you or impact you or empower you, I encourage you to subscribe, like, and share this video. I want to dedicate this episode today to a gentleman by the name of Dr. Willie Jolly. Dr. Jolly and I had an opportunity to meet about 2 years ago when he had a speaking engagement here in Richmond, Virginia. And actually, it was 2 years ago today. So today is January the 3rd. So 2 years ago today, Dr. Jolly came to Kingdom Pursuers International, or Kingdom Pursuers Ministry International, and shared a powerful talk that inspired me at that time and is still empowering me and empowering me today. But I had known about Dr. Jolly for several years because he is well known for the phrase, a setback is a setup for a comeback. And so today's word is setback. And as you may have heard in my last episode, I talked a little bit about a setback that helped me to really get into deeper my purpose and understanding my purpose and the value of my purpose. But today I want to talk about the power of a setback. You may be watching this because of somebody sharing this with you, but understand that we all go through trials and tribulations. We all go through something that will take us off of our game or take us away from our focus. And when that happens, we have 2 choices. We can either pause and stop and not move on and analyze it and just be stuck and allow it to define us, or we can define the setback. And I've had so many setbacks in my life, so many from mentioning earlier that my father was killed when I was 2 to being laid off from the nonprofit organization. But there was one defining setback that took place in my life while I was in college. And as you may remember from previous episodes, I graduated from Virginia Union University, which is here in Richmond, Virginia. And it was my 4th year in school. Now, notice I didn't say my senior year because I was no close to being a senior than I was when I first got started. It actually took me 8 years to finish a 4-year degree. And it was because of a lack of focus, too much energy on being a connector, and not enough focus on the task at hand, which was to get my studies done and to operate with a high level of academic excellence. But at the end of my 4th year, as a matter of fact, it was December 7th, 2000. I wrote my name on a withdrawal slip and I was leaving college at that time, which I thought was for good. I had hit a brick wall emotionally, spiritually, financially. My grades was shrinking, was going down, and I just didn't know what else to do. And so I needed to take a pause. And I didn't know if I was going to come back. Obviously, I did, but at that time, I didn't know whether or not I was going to go back. I was hurt. I was broken because I felt like I was letting a lot of other people down. At that time, I had lost my full scholarship to Virginia Union that I earned when I came into the school. And from that point, I was on a downward spiral. And even though I had a couple of academic accolades and, a couple personal achievements, deep inside, I still felt empty. I felt hurt because I wasn't living up to my God-given purpose. And so I left school. I took time off. I ended up going back home to New York, where I'm from, and I stayed with my mom for about 6 months. And when I got home, I was able to connect with an alpha brother who opened up the door for me to learn more about entrepreneurship. He invited me into his home and introduced me to a business idea that helped me to see that, number one, I was not operating at a high level of purpose, but I didn't know anything about legacy. And I'll talk about legacy in future episodes, but that connection with Sean Brown, my alpha brother, changed the game for me because it put me in a position where I started to get into reading. At that time, also, my mom had gotten into business. She's a Primerica rep, and she had been reading and educating herself. And one day I saw a book on the shelf by Dr. Willie Jolly, and I pulled it off and I got into reading, and I saw this phrase that a setback is a setup for a comeback. And that was inspiring for me because I had this setback in undergrad. I left school, dropped out, or really stopped out at that time. And I didn't know if I was going to go back to Virginia Union, but I knew that I was going to make some type of a comeback. And I ended up doing it. And it took me 18 months to get myself together. I ended up going back to Virginia Union in 2002, and I made up in my mind that I would graduate in 2 years by hook or by crook. And in 2004, I finished my undergraduate studies at Virginia Union University. Why do I share this with you? Because you are going to experience setbacks in your life. Setbacks are common. As you keep living, you are going to hit brick walls. But the challenge that I throw at you and that I encourage you with is to not fall victim to the setback. Don't allow the setback to define you. You define the setback. You make the decision that you will make a comeback because it is within you, and others have done it as well. And if you ever need additional support, if you need some help, like I got some help, right? I was able to connect with an alpha brother who opened up the door for me. I was able to connect with my mom, and she put me in a position to develop a reading habit where I started building my thought process so that I can make this comeback. If you ever need that, just know that I can be a resource for you. So I want you to envision your comeback. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be blessed, but most of all, I want you to share your faith. And the way that you share your faith is by overcoming the setback so you can make a comeback. I'm Rob YB Youngblood, your number one connector, and this is Thoughts of a Connector. We'll talk soon. Peace.